Thank you, Madam Speaker, for that guidance. I was to indicate, but it is important you did. Madam Speaker, I want to support and say the Finance and Budget Committee has done a tremendous job, a good job. For this, I think this report is well done, well captured, Madam Speaker. I think apart from the Senate County Public Accounts Committee, the second busiest committee is Finance and Budget, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I have seen credentials and the role of SRC, Madam Speaker. Let me say the following. Of course, under Article 230, the role of SRC cannot be gainsaid. It is very critical because now the decision of review of civil servants' salaries, which we are being told today, Madam Speaker, out of the revenue we collect as a country, Madam Speaker, 1.1 trillion goes to public servants in this republic. Therefore, the role SRC plays is very critical, Madam Speaker. And I've seen SRC has not been taking lightly the comments we make about their work. I have even suggested in the past that SRC should be a part-time commission because their work is not 8 to 5, Madam Speaker. Their work is to review periodically the salaries and remuneration and personal emoluments of public servants and state officers across this country, as was envisaged in Article 230. In fact, we should be looking at possibility of reducing the number of SRC commissioners in this republic, Madam Speaker, so that we are also, because if we are spending 1.1 trillion on salaries, personal emoluments for state officers, Madam Speaker, for civil servants, it is unfair because these civil servants, majority of Kenyans are not employed by a government, Madam Speaker. And therefore, even as we approve or as we transmit this motion, Madam Speaker, for the Minister of Treasury, of course, as we wait for the report of the National Assembly on the vetting exercise, of course, the CS nominee of Treasury, John Badingongo, should, if they get opportunity, to ensure that these people we approve give value to the offices that we are talking about. And therefore, in fact, SRC, Madam Speaker, has not been helpful in advice. By the way, if the reading, Madam Speaker, and you are a very senior lawyer in this republic, Madam Speaker, and Secretary General Emeritus, who ensured that you midwife the current government, Madam Speaker, it cannot be gainsaid. The work of SRC is to advise. I don't know where they got these powers. They have arrogated themselves powers to set the salary. It's not their business, Madam Speaker. And we have sat, Madam Speaker, they have never assisted us. Look, for example, at UHC, Universal Health Coverage in terms. We spend hours here. They told us they will work with the Council of Governors to confirm under permanent and pensionable terms of UHC in terms, Madam Speaker. Who served this country as true heroes when we have in COVID of 2020? They didn't assist. We have had push and pull over the issue of members of County Assembly, the MCS, Madam Speaker. Their personal emoluments, their welfare, Madam Speaker, but they have done nothing to ensure, Madam Speaker. And you know, under the labor laws, the law does not allow anybody to have their salary cut. It is never practiced anywhere in the world, Madam Speaker. We have told them, Madam Speaker, can you advise the country on the of members of County Assembly, Madam Speaker? We have insisted, we have sat through the AMCA, Madam Speaker. SRC has been no show. We have sat with the CAF, Madam Speaker. We have even, you remember, the intern doctors that demonstrated for the longest time possible. SRC could not advise the country, Madam Speaker. It is their domain to give a practical, implementable with the current, Madam Speaker. You saw the embarrassment that they wanted to put members of, and I suspect SRC was part of the people who are inciting Gen Z in this republic, because when there were protests in these countries, SRC went and issued a circular of increasing salaries of members of parliament and other state officers. If we had not rejected, Madam Speaker, tungesalamiwa with these Gen Zs, they have embarrassed us. It means they are not having their work cut out. They don't follow what they should be doing as SRC, Madam Speaker. It was embarrassing. They embarrassed the presidency. They embarrassed the state officers, members of parliament. When the country is going through hard economic times, Madam Speaker, Why would you want to increase the salary? And it embarrasses us, madam. We in fact, I propose that through your office and through the head of public service, SRC must give us unreservedly apology to the country of the Kenya and state officers for putting us into embarrassment and setting us against coalition cause with the great people of Kenya, Madam Speaker. We have Kenyans who are earning less, Madam Speaker. Why don't you look at that? Every time Central Kotu, and you saw Francis Atwoli the other day when they're celebrating Labor Day. What is about the minimum wage? That is when we need the wisdom of SRC. It is not their business to look at what members of parliament and state officers should do. They should be looking at the minimum wage, the Wanjikus of this world, the Manzayos of this world, Madam Speaker, the Kiprotich of this world who do not have anything minimum wage, Madam Speaker. And that is why today as we talk, the allegations we are hearing, the governor of Nandi can hire young people, Madam Speaker, and give them helmets and give them the sticks, hockey stick, horse stick, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, the sticks, the djembe sticks, to walk around and maround in Kapsabet town as we talk, Madam Speaker, harassing law-abiding citizens because members of public wanted to go and occupy his office and ask billions of shillings, close to more than 50 billion that has been allocated to Nandi. Where is it? But he has gone ahead and hired, Madam Speaker, people carrying djembes, carrying funny rude weapons, walking around Kapsabet town, Madam Speaker. As we talk, it is shame for a governor to use the resources, and Governor Sang must be called out. Instead of providing drugs to Kapsabet County Referral Hospital, he is busy providing djembe sticks to young people to go and harass others, Madam Speaker. And I don't fear to, I am embarrassed of the Nandi County security team, Madam Speaker. In Namgoi, in the town, criminals are walking around with djembe sticks, and the county commander and the county security team is sitting unless they have been compromised by Governor Sang, Madam Speaker. It is very unfortunate. It is so sad. We go and tax Kenyans, give counties money. The governors misuse that money for their own selfish gains, Madam Speaker. We cannot allow this country, Madam Speaker. It is very unfortunate, Madam Speaker. And I want to challenge the Acting Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kanja, to tell us why would the police officers and county commander and county security team are sitting while young people, criminals hired by the governor, are walking around with the djembe sticks, harassing young men and women, pregnant mothers, the disabled in Kapsabet town in a clear, broad daylight, Madam Speaker. And yet we are struggling here. As we talk today, the ECD teachers of Nandi County are supposed to go on strike because they have not been paid. But when you hire hooligans, the county has money to hire, but they can't buy drugs. They can't pay ECD teachers very well, Madam Speaker. The roads are impassable in Nandi as we talk, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, as a house, and I'll be bringing a comprehensive statement to have the Inspector General of Police. We are doing what we call in quotes bad manners in this country, Madam Speaker. Because if you are allowing criminals to walk around with djembe sticks, with crude weapons, in a big town like Kapsabet, Madam Speaker, what are you selling the rest of the country, Madam Speaker? I will be challenging, Madam Speaker, and therefore, we must agree that even as we approve, we pass anything, Madam Speaker, in this house, we must ensure, Madam Speaker, we speak truth to the power.